A traumatic situation, obviously, for several families.
It certainly is, Doug. The smoke was billowing so high and the wind was gusting so hard that it was impossible to see farther than 1 or 2 houses along Lucky Lane. That's where the worst fire was raging earlier, and one man could only watch helplessly as his house disappeared beneath those flames. It's blinding smoke, gusting wind, the kind that picks up dirt and slams it into your face. And those flames ripping first through a field near Missile Road, then racing headlong into a string of homes along Lucky Lane.
I was at work, and one of our house captains for Christmas in Action, one of his friends called and said that he couldn't make it because the neighborhood was on fire. And he told me where it was at, and I said, well, that's my neighborhood. I got to get going.
Mark Masman, the man who's helped hundreds of low-income, elderly, and disabled people repair their homes through Christmas in Action, watched as his own home went up in flames.
It is the worst day that we've had. I'm just thankful that, you know, I wasn't in the house and we weren't in the house. Fortunately, our dogs were in the house.
His 2 beloved dogs nowhere to be found. As his house crumbled and burned, Masman tried to help his neighbors save theirs. Airmen and onlookers joined firefighters, grabbing hoses, using trash cans to scoop water from bar ditches and pour onto the grass. People wore ski goggles to shield their eyes from blasts of dirt. Masman had a simple request.
Be there, support us, pray for us. You know, when we regroup, we'll figure it all out. But just, you know, this community has always been helpful, so I guess it's my turn for some help. You know, we've been helping everybody. I gotta go.
Is there anything in particular people can help with?
Just community involvement, just stay the community together.
And when all seemed to be lost, just as we pulled away from the command center, we ran into Masman again.
All of a sudden, the fireman just walks up and has the dog in her arms. It was a miracle.
His home is in ruins, with little left to show that a building ever even existed. But one of his dogs, Bailey, survived.
But, oh, it's a miracle. But it was a scene from a movie coming out there. Thank God for him.
And just to emphasize how awful this fire was, we're used to seeing area volunteer fire departments request help from the Wichita Falls Fire Department, but in this case it was the WFFD putting out a plea for help from local volunteer fire departments.
Everybody need to help everybody today, for sure. Katie, thank you.
Some big changes could be on the horizon for Wichita Falls firefighters. During Tuesday's City Council meeting, Chief Earl Foster will present a proposal that would involve a restructuring of his department, but the Firefighters Association objects to much of that plan. Katie Crosby joins us now with more.
Well, when the association agrees with part of the plan, which would ensure that 4 firefighters ride on an engine at any given time, that way they can make sure that 2 firefighters go into a burning building while 2 are manning the post outside. But it's the rest of the proposal that the association opposes. Chief Earl Foster's plan would do away with numerous opportunities for promotion.
It's a pretty big change. There's no doubt. There's a lot of components to it.
Under the chief's proposal, when someone retires or moves, instead of promoting other firefighters, the department would simply eliminate those leadership roles and turn them into regular firefighting jobs. The plan would gradually do away with 3 captain positions, 3 lieutenant positions, and 6 driver jobs.
But I want to stress that nobody takes a demotion. We do it all through attrition. Nobody's going to get demoted. Nobody's going to get fired or laid off. Nobody's going to take a cut in pay.
But Wichita Falls Firefighters Association President Bobby Whiteley says these are drastic changes that would take the rank structure back decades.
If we lose 12 positions of rank, you know, morale is going to be a definite factor. And there's a chance we could lose some of our young firefighters to other cities.
Whiteley says the $250,000 proposed savings wouldn't be enough to lead to, say, a tax decrease.
The cost of this is so minute in money savings as far as the city goes, but it's major as far as the citizens go. It's a huge cost to the citizens, and that's who's going to pay the price.
That That's because the chief's plan would also take 2 units off the streets, which Whiteley fears would increase response times and leave some parts of town uncovered. But Chief Foster argues for the merits of his plan.
We think it's a win-win. It increases firefighter safety, it increases the level of service to the citizens, and it saves the citizens money.
We're supposed to be progressive and growing, and this is not just a step backward, this is steps backwards.
Now, if you'd like to share your opinion, city councilors will discuss the matter during Tuesday's meeting. That starts at 8:30 at City Hall.
And Katie, we know you will be there when that discussion takes place.
Certainly.
All right, we look forward to seeing what happens. Thanks.
Jail crowding in Wichita County has been a big issue in recent months, with inmates being transferred to several other counties to keep the population under control. Well, now one district judge is raising questions about whether everything possible is being done by the sheriff's office to keep the population manageable. Katie Crosby joins us now with more on that. Katie?
Well, Doug, 30th District Judge Bob Brotherton says the district clerk's office and the DA's office both complete their paperwork the day of or the morning after a convicted person's final court procedure. And he says the rest of the paperwork that's needed to move inmates to prison is the sole responsibility of the sheriff's office. Judge Brotherton says if the jail population stays high, it could help the sheriff's office gain support for a new or expanded jail.
Sheriff David Duke told us Monday that many courthouse departments, including the sheriff's office, have been working together to speed up the paperwork process necessary to transfer inmates from jail to state prisons.
Well, and that's true, but that's not the whole story. Everybody but the sheriff's department had been working together up until that point. I mean, once it gets there, nobody else can do anything about it until the sheriff pushes it out.
30th District Court Judge Bob Brotherton says the paperwork backlog had been occurring at the sheriff's office, and he says inmates were sitting in the county jail for months longer than they had to because of delays in the sheriff's office.
You know, at one time there were 102 people in our jail that should have had their paperwork prepared and should have been ready to go to prison and hadn't. And that was about 15% of the jail population. So
Judge Brotherton says he believes Sheriff Duke wants a new jail, and he says keeping the jail at maximum capacity will help build the case for a new facility.
I don't know that they're intentionally slowing down the paperwork, but I know that's where the bottleneck was.
This office is not intentionally holding anybody back from going to prison. We want them out here just as quick as we can, too.
Sheriff Duke and his Deputy Chief Derek Metter say their desire for a new or expanded facility is based on jail population and facility needs.
I'm not saying we need to go out here and build a Taj Mahal. We just need something that what we need, not the things we want.
We had a significant number of inmates that were backed up in the system. I would say that one person that does that, it took him 72 hours of doing no work other than that specific task to process all those.
That jail is the tail that's wagging the dog around here. I mean, employees aren't getting raises, other things are going undone because of that jail. I just think the jail needs to be run as efficiently as possible.
The jail is being ran as efficiently as possible as it ever has been.
Sheriff Duke says some of the paperwork delay is due to cutbacks in overtime. He says many factors contribute to the length of an inmate's stay that are out of anyone's control.
All right, Katie, thank you.